Then a dog's bark unveils a shocking secret at Harbor City International Airport. Harbor City International Airport buzzed with its usual chaos, rolling suitcases, urgent announcements, and the hum of travelers rushing to catch flights. Officer Lily Stone moved swiftly through Terminal B, one hand lightly holding the leash of her KD-9 partner, Shadow. He was a lean Belgian Malinois, his fur sleek, ears alert, always absorbing every scent with keen intelligence that Lily trusted implicitly. Their routine patrol was meant to be uneventful, just scanning the crowds for anything suspicious. But Shadow had a knack for surprises. As they passed a row of AMs against a gray steel wall, Shadow suddenly stiffened. His muscles tensed, and he let out a sharp bark that sliced through the background chatter like a knife. Lily's heart skipped. Shadow never barked without cause. She stopped, gripping the leash firmly. "Easy, boy," she murmured, but Shadow growled, his nose fixed on the nearest AM. A security guard, noticing the commotion, approached. "Everything all right?" he asked, eyeing Shadow warily. Lily shook her head. "He's picked up something." "I need maintenance to open this AM." The guard frowned. "It's just a cash machine." Shadow's growl deepened, his paw scraping at the machine's metal base. Lily's voice sharpened. "We need that panel off now." A small crowd of curious onlookers formed, some travelers pulling out phones, unsure if they were witnessing a bomb scare or something stranger. Within minutes, a wary maintenance worker arrived, toolbox in hand. He crouched by the AM, unscrewing the side panel with metallic clanks. Lily kept one hand near her holstered weapon, the other steadying Shadow. The air felt wrong. Shadow's entire posture screamed alarm. Finally, the panel came loose. At first, there was only darkness inside. Then a foul stench hit Lily's nostrils. A sickening blend of stale air and something off that twisted her stomach. Shadow barked again. Everyone leaned forward as the worker cautiously shone a flashlight into the opening. A collective gasp erupted when he jumped back, eyes wide. Inside the cramped space lay a small child, no older than 5 years. Curled up and trembling. Her face was streaked with tears, her matted clothes filthy. She blinked at the sudden light, her brown eyes terrified. A hush fell over the crowd. Lily could barely breathe. "Oh my God," she whispered, kneeling. She gently placed a hand on the child. "You're safe now," she murmured. Shadow, sensing her tone, softened his stance and sniffed the child's hand lightly, as if to reassure her. Slowly, the girl reached out, touching his fur. The security guard stood frozen. "I'll call paramedics," Lily nodded. "And secure this area. No one leaves without being questioned." One uneasy crowd watched as paramedics arrived to lift the little girl onto a stretcher. The hush shattered into whispered conversations and worried murmurs. Some snapped photos. Others shook their heads in horror. Lily stayed close to the paramedics briefly, wanting to ensure the child wasn't alone, but duty pulled her back to the AM. She crouched beside Shadow, letting him sniff the opening. His hackles were still slightly raised, eyes darting with restless energy. The fact that a child had been hidden in such a confined space made Lily's stomach churn. "Good work," she breathed, scratching Shadow behind the ear. He licked her hand, but then turned his nose toward the next AM, letting out a low, insistent growl. The security guard shot Lily a wary glance. "You think there's another one in there?" Lily pressed her lips together. "If Shadow's reacting, I can't ignore it. Call maintenance again." No one hesitated this time. Another set of tools. More screws undone, more tension in the air. But when the metal panel fell away, they found only dusty wiring and old receipts. Relief flooded them. One child was horrifying enough, but Shadow didn't relax. His body remained taut, scanning the terminal as if sensing something bigger at play. Within the hour, a federal agent named Ethan Wade arrived, his suit crisp, expression grim. He conferred briefly with Lily, his brows knitting as she recounted the situation. "Child hidden in an AM," he repeated, voice hushed. "That's not random. It points to a larger operation." Lily nodded, glancing down the corridor at the line of AMs. "Shadow thinks there's more going on. I don't know if they've used multiple machines, or if there's another hidden chamber. But there's a reason she was there." Ethan moved quickly, pulling strings to review security footage. Lily joined him in a back office filled with monitors. Hours of video scrolled by travelers hauling luggage. Children tugging at parents' sleeves, employees grabbing coffee. Eventually, they spotted a figure dressed as a maintenance worker approaching the AM. He fiddled with something behind the machine, glancing around nervously, then walked away, pushing a rolling toolbox. The timestamp roughly matched when the child must have been placed there. Ethan paused the footage. "Hugh's wearing a uniform, but it's too generic. No clear, Ed?" He frowned. "We need a name. We need to know who else is involved." Lily felt her blood boil. Left a little girl in that space. She'd have suffocated if Shadow hadn't smelled something. They quickly circulated the suspect's image to airport security, local police, and beyond, but whoever he was, he vanished. Meanwhile, the little girl was taken to the hospital, dehydrated, traumatized, but alive. Most in the terminal assumed the chaos was a bag check or a suspicious device. They had no idea the real reason: a hidden child, possibly part of a human trafficking ring. Lily's heart pounded. If a ring was using AMS to hide children, how many others might still be out there? The next day, Lily and Shadow returned to Harbor City International with a specialized forensics team. They checked each AM for hidden compartments. Some revealed nothing but old wiring. One had traces of smudged footprints, possibly a sign it had been used before. The more they searched, the more Lily realized these criminals were methodical, modifying machines without drawing attention. Each discovery tightened her chest with anger. A lead emerged when an off-duty baggage handler recognized the suspect's face from the circulated image. He recalled seeing the man slip through a staff-only corridor. That lead pointed them to a neglected storage bay, rarely used. Shadow's nose guided them to a locked metal cabinet in and out of the way corner, reeking of stale air. With bated breath, Lily pried it open. Thankfully, no child was inside, but they found old blankets, half-empty water bottles, and scribbled notes about moving, cargo. Lily's pulse quickened. "Cargo. People," she said. Ethan, scanning the notes, murmured, "This is bigger than we thought." As they combed through the evidence, a pattern emerged: references to other airports, other shipments. Children were being trafficked by stashing them temporarily in rigged compartments, then transferring them to vehicles or freight. Lily's mind reeled. One child in an AM was horrific enough. But this was just the tip of the iceberg. Footage from multiple airports confirmed the worst. The same suspect appeared in different surveillance videos, always in a nondescript uniform, slipping into restricted areas with toolboxes in tow. Clues suggested a group, not just one man, was behind this. Lily felt a cold surge of determination. "We have to act fast." They could be moving children through multiple airports. A multi-agency task force formed overnight, with Lily and Shadow at the forefront. They learned another suspicious cargo transfer might happen soon at Bridgeview Airport, 2 hours north. Undercover officers and cannon units descended on the facility. Tension was palpable as they scoured cargo holds, restrooms, and maintenance closets. Shadow moved with unwavering focus. At last, he alerted near a shipping container in a gated area. Agents forced it open, revealing 4 terrified children, exhausted but alive. Relief was indescribable, yet laced with fury. Each rescue underscored the operation's monstrosity. Meanwhile, an officer spotted the original suspect trying to slip away. A chase ensued, and they cornered him near a service hallway. Shadow sprang, tackling the man to the ground. Lily cuffed him, adrenaline roaring. "Where are the rest?" she demanded. He spat a denial, but the pieces came together. With each arrest, more names surfaced, more leads, more children saved. In the days that followed, headlines screamed about the Atem child case and the large-scale trafficking ring exposed at Harbor City International. Lily and Shadow were hailed as heroes, but for Lily, the real victory was seeing the rescued children reunited with families or placed in safe care. The little girl found that first day was recovering, though shaken. Lily visited her in the hospital, bringing Shadow at the nurse's invitation. The girl's eyes lit up when she saw him, a small, grateful smile crossing her face. Shadow gently licked her hand, and Lily felt tears well up. "You're safe," she told her softly. "We won't let this happen again." A week later, a short ceremony took place at police headquarters. Lily, in her cleanly pressed uniform, stood with Shadow before a small crowd of colleagues, local officials, and some of the children's families. The police chief pinned a commendation on Lily's jacket, praising her quick actions and Shadow's keen instincts. Cameras flashed, people clapped, and Shadow, slightly bewildered by the fuss, wagged his tail when someone patted his head. After everything, Lily found it surreal to stand on a stage, but she felt pride for her partner. Without Shadow, no one would have suspected an AM could hide something so horrific. That night, exhausted from days of investigation and the emotional toll, Lily settled onto her sofa at home. Shadow curled up at her feet, eyes half closed. She let out a long breath, thinking of the rescues, the children. How close so many had come to vanishing forever. Each life saved made every ounce of effort worth it. After a while, Lily looked down at Shadow, who was drifting off. "You're amazing, you know that," she whispered. His ears twitched. He didn't need words to understand. The gentle wag of his tail said enough. They were a team, and together, they had uncovered a secret hidden in the unlikeliest of places. As Lily turned out the lamp, she reminded herself that the fight against trafficking was far from over. But for this night, they could rest, knowing one dog's bark at an airport had saved lives and shaken a criminal network to its core.